Check out this plane landing in Australia without landing gear. 3 people were on board when the pilot raised the alarm about a mechanical issue. The plane landed safely on the tarmac with first responders standing by just in case. And that's your morning rush.
Watch as this tornado rips through western Pennsylvania, shredding rooftops. The National Weather Service preliminarily says the twister was an EF2 with wind speeds of up to 118 miles per hour, leaving some residents forced to seek shelter, including about 100 members of this local church, some infants.
I go out and I see debris flying all over the auditorium, so I immediately tell everybody down in the basement.
The tornado striking in the middle of church services. Watch as the lights go out as the pastor's wife was in the midst of a song.
I thought I heard the windows start to shatter, and then the sound was like a train coming through.
That's the church steeple that flew off the building and damaged several cars. The pastor says, amazingly, no one was seriously hurt. The severe weather continuing a trend of tornadoes over the weekend, with 4 preliminary ones reported yesterday across the Ohio Valley and 3 potential ones in southwest PA. The National Weather Service reports there have been a staggering 746 preliminary tornadoes year to date, some that have recently decimated through the heartland.
Good evening, and welcome to It's Too Late, where I like to say, hey, if you want to keep your head, you better keep it on a swivel. You know what I mean? That's right. We got a lot of crime going on tonight. So let's just get right to these headlines. SHTF all over the nation.
Millions of people visit Manhattan every single year. Tonight, one leaves Midtown with a horror story. This is video of a tourist stabbed at random while walking out of a gift shop. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon is in Midtown with the details. Sonia?
Yeah, Joe, this is 8th Avenue and 43rd Street. It's part of the Times Square area, full of foot traffic and police at all hours, statistically very safe. The seemingly random attack on a tourist was caught on video here 24 hours ago, and it shows the victim doing nothing at all to provoke it. The video from the corner store shows a man sitting out front in a walker at around 6 o'clock yesterday. An employee says the man had just bought cigarettes.
He's like normal, smoke a cigarette. When I see him, like he said, like 2 girls. It's coming from the gift shop. He have like big knife.
A big knife that he pulls out and casually uses to attack a woman visiting the city who just walked out of the gift shop with 2 other people. Anwar Yahya says he can't imagine what was going through the mind of this regular customer, that he would do something so violent on such a busy street out of the blue.
After when he stabbed the lady, he sit down to the chair.
He acted like nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Everybody walk close to him. He didn't do nothing.
The tourists are seen walking away, looking bewildered. Police say the stab victim was taken to a hospital and treated for a wound to the chest. 61-year-old Cyril Destin was quickly arrested and charged with assault and criminal possession of a weapon.
I was scared because we come to the store to buy the cigarette. Yeah, and after they lock him up.
Yeah, suspect Cyril Destin has been arrested more than a dozen times before. He actually lives nearby in a building that includes supportive housing for formerly homeless individuals. He is still in custody at this hour and is due in court tonight. We're live in Midtown. Sonia Rincon, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Dang, repeat offenders. That guy looked pretty comfortable doing what he did, and I bet he's been doing it since he was young.
A D.C. teen accused of firing an AR-15 dozens of times in the Hill East neighborhood in the middle of the street has now been let out of jail while he awaits his trial. News 4 obtained 3 different camera angles which prosecutors say show 18-year-old Amante Moody running out of his home and opening fire on a car. The shooting happened on Independence Avenue Southeast at the end of April. No one was injured in this indiscriminate shooting. Court documents show a judge released Moody from jail to home confinement with a GPS monitor. Prosecutors, though, have now filed an emergency motion to reverse the judge's decision. They called Moody a, quote, danger to the community and said that no release conditions could assure public safety. They also said GPS devices are only monitored during business hours. So if a defendant leaves home on a Friday night, no one would know until Monday. The hearing for the emergency motion is scheduled for May 15th.
Federal investigators have arrested a York man for his alleged part in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Agents arrested 51-year-old Gerald Powell yesterday. He faces felony and misdemeanor charges. The Justice Department says Powell helped move barricades at a police line to help clear the way for those who were rioting. More than 1,400 people have been charged in connection with that attack.
Whoa. Criminals walk among us. At least that last guy, we know he's going to do some hard time. All right, but to the farm report, I think we're going to have trouble with the harvest this year, folks, and that means you need to go ahead and plant some
Geomagnetic
tomatoes.
storms that brought dazzling colors to areas that rarely see it did cause some chaos. The New York Times reports navigational systems and farming equipment broke down over the weekend. The equipment, including trailers, used GPS to plant precise rows to avoid gaps and overlap. Landmark Implement, a John Deere dealer in the Midwest, warned farmers about these disruptions. This is bad timing, of course, as it's the height of planting season in the Midwest and Canada.
Homeless encampments. They line many of our streets here in Los Angeles, but some, like these in Hollywood, have forced local business there to find solutions that the city has not found at this point. The driveway at the legendary Sunset Recording Studio, that used to be almost entirely obscured by tents, but not anymore. Not since the studio's owners now have installed these garden and planter beds. They're designed to make it more difficult to set up a tent out there. And while the owners say that they recognize the plight of the homeless, they cannot let their own business be affected by this, which often includes the likes of famous recording artists, Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, just to name a couple. In February, the studio was burglarized, and last year it was set on fire twice.
Well, I have an idea and a solution right here at home on the range, here on It's Too Late, okay? Hundertwasser is one of my favorite architects, and this is what I've drawn. So if you walk past this on the sidewalk and you are tired of walking over tents and other things, then you will like this design, because this is essentially oleander bushes and, very organic. But what these are about the size of a large tour bus bunk each. Each one of these is made, guess what, you guys? So first of all, that's very little cut materials, because it's a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet and a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet, and then another, etc. You catch my drift. So it's only 4 foot tall. That's what this little bunk/house is. And it's covered with organic materials. Probably has, we'll worry about the climate control situation later, but this is just a quick sketch. And again, we've got ourselves a couple of bigger ones for, the handicapped homeless people. All right. And so what you have here is you get all the school districts, the shop classes and whatnot, if they still have that. But the main thing is every school and every school district has their hands in a little part of this. So they're easily fastening together these no-cut situations. They're constructing a bunk or two, and they all latch together. There's a big ceremony, whatever, however you want to slice it. We don't have to get too involved here, but you see, if you get the kids to go home and say, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, I'm working on this thing and this homeless solution thing. It's going to be cool. Look at these renderings. And they go, oh, that's cool. And then there's a little ceremony, and maybe the little kids have done a mosaic, whatever. And so this homeless compound that none of them house more than about 18 homeless people. You don't want, to build, a homeless metropolis or anything like that. Again, these are scattered throughout, and I hate to say it, but every park now has these tour bus bunks and but they are, designed again they're simple design. The students put them together and build them. So over the course of year after year, families say, hey, I built that. And they point it out to their kids. Hey, we built that. And we started this thing. But it changes society from seeing tents everywhere to seeing these little earthen, well, they're not earthen, but you catch my drift. They're adorned with nature. They're in nature. They're not tall. You can see over them. You know what I mean? As you're walking by, there's not going to be a bunch of bad stuff going on in the corridor. And mostly, I presume, these folks will, you know, it's a step up. It's at least out from under a tarp and, you know, the sidewalks are cleared. The students have put the work in. And 15 years later, society is used to these all over everywhere. And there's not tents all over everywhere. And again, people will transition in and out of these things. And I'm sure the government's like, let's build a more concrete version of this and whatever. Or maybe this is all just pie in the sky. But hey, solutions are important. And this is my solution. Once again, it's because the students build these and they take pride of ownership in their city. And their children's children know that their family and their lineage built this stuff. And they were the part of the solution. And it wasn't the government that made the solution. It'd be nice if the government would, you know, pay for all this stuff, but, you know, they won't. So, hey, but there you have it, folks. Listen, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for watching. It's too late tonight here at Home on the Range. Whoa, whoa. All right, you guys are awesome. We'll see you tomorrow morning for the Bad Apple Report, or maybe we'll see you tomorrow night right here on It's Too Late.